Okay, what we're going to be tying here is a Clouser style minnow called an emerald shiner, which represents the emerald shiner out of the Lake Erie tributaries. And as you can see, it's a simple Clouser style fly. We've got polar fiber in two colors. This is olive, and then we're going to use white. And the hook that I'm going to be tying on is a size 10 4X streamer hook. This happens to be an Orvis 8808. Certainly could use a straight eye hook. Nah, doesn't really matter. And then I'm using some, for this size, I'm using some 1/8 inch black dumbbell eyes. And we're going to tie this in Clouser style. And the only other thing that we've added is some crystal flash for the sides. So let's go ahead and give one of these things a try. Okay, so all that I've done is I've just put my thread here, and it's about 2/3 of the way forward. We're going to take one of these eyes. We're going to slide that right up to the knot so it bumps into it. We're going to do several turns in this fashion, and then we're going to do several in that. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around this way. I tie it just like Clouser does. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of Zap-A-Gap there just to hold that down. Okay, so we're going to start by tying in the white. Remember, this is polar fur. What I do is I take a comb and I comb this out. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this right down close to the hide, and then we'll tie it in. Okay, so here's a big section of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it by the tips and pull here. So now we're going to get two sections out of here. Now, if the hair is long enough here, we could use that. I think what I'm going to do, though, is just utilize this second set of hair here. And if your tips are a little uneven, just pull them apart and then stack them back in. I'll also mention that these should be tied fairly sparsely. Don't need to be really thick. That's starting to look pretty good right there. So we hold here and pull from the base. See, we're going to get some of those short ones out of there. But these minnows vary in size. We don't want to get them too unruly here. We don't want to get them too fat. They're not going to catch bigger fish because you've tied a fatter minnow. I like the translucency. And that's about the right length right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that here, come in with my scissors, and cut that. I'm going to push that down, catch it, tie it in, come around back, and then spiral my way back. Right about halfway between the barb and the point, and then come back forward, catch it here, and then one turn right up top. If you have any holidays, just come in here and trim those out. Alright, then we'll turn this over and tie in the second bit of material. Okay, so all I did was turn the hook upside down so I have a little bit more tying room on the vise. And I have 4 strands of Flashabou. So all I'm going to do is wrap the Flashabou on the thread. Tie that back. And we'll just come in here and trim that to length. Now we'll go ahead and tie in the oval. Okay, I've done the same thing with the olive as I did with the white. I pulled out some of the thicker stuff, and obviously this thick stuff is fine for tying if it was just a little bit shorter, so I keep that for another fly. But all I'm going to do is tie that in the equal length. I'm going to come in here, trim this, be the same length as the white. Just touch that right to it. So isn't it beautiful when the phone rings? All we're going to do is tie this down. Some good secure wraps, and then we're going to go ahead and whip finish, half hitch, however you're going to do it. And I'm going to take it out of the vise. Turn it, which would be actually upside down. Remember, the eyes are down, but for the purpose of putting it in the vise and seeing the fly, it's much easier that way. Now I'll just grab some olive marker. Just come in here and give it an olive head, or a black head, but it's an emerald shiner. And that's pretty much it. Tied like a clouser, but we're using softer materials, and I think it imparts a little bit more action in the water. They also, this original pattern, the Emerald Shiner, is an Ohio pattern that Don Mathews, a local guide, uses, and he recommends using kid goat hair. Anything softer, finer than your bucktail. Just get better action. I think it fishes better. And I can tell you what, once this thing is wet and in the water, it really does have some good action. And this is a typical size for like the Lake Erie emeralds. A very nice pattern, one that you should have in your arsenal. This is not to say that this won't work in anything. This is a fantastic smallmouth pattern, and remember, it's going to look something along that. It's going to be riding upside down. It's just nice, the flash bow in there just sort of gives it some lateral markings. But that's how it's going to go in the water, and it's just a real good fly to have in your arsenal. I recommend that you give this a try. It's worked well for me, and here in the next couple weeks I'm hoping that it's going to work again. So I hope you like this pattern. It's real simple. You know, it takes about 2 minutes to tie this pattern. So give it a try, and we'll see you in the river.